Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. My name is Via and I try to post weekly videos. I say I try because there are times when I have a very hectic schedule and it's just very hard for me to upload a video, and it makes me feel very sad because I wish I could keep up with my videos. But yeah, I am trying to do weekly videos, so I hope that you stick around and that you watch my video hopefully till now, until the end. But yeah, as you can see, my whole house, like my apartment, is super dark, but it's kind of still day outside because it's right now around 8 p.m. and I am in Germany. We have currently summer here. It's super hot. And I live like on the last floor of an apartment building. So throughout the day, I get a lot of sunlight and my windows and everything, and even the roof heats up a lot. So I definitely keep my windows and shutters all down, even when I'm at work. I don't leave the windows open because only hot air comes in. When I come home, it's just super stuffy. And yeah, I definitely need to figure out what can I do about the heat situation. But honestly speaking, there's not much. I have a fan currently here running. I don't know, maybe you can hear it in the background. And I have a portable air conditioning, which is on in my bedroom, so that the bedroom is at least cool. But more than that, I think living in this country you can't do, because that's pretty much all that's available. But yeah, I have had a very chill evening. I had a very hectic day at work, and I came home and thought that I want to really, really wind down. So I took a shower. As you can see, I have my head wrap. It's because I washed my hair. So, and it really, really keeps my hair off my face. And right now in this heat, I'm just so grateful for this thing, because otherwise it's like always itchy here on my neck. I don't know, my hair just starts like sticking to my skin and then I'm sweaty again, and I hate that feeling. So I'm very happy to have bought this head wrap. Yeah, and my goal of the evening is to simply chill. I don't want to watch a series. I don't want to catch up on stuff. I just want to chill. I just want to maybe sit on my couch and do nothing. I want to sit in silence. I don't want to speak to anybody. I don't know if you can relate to this feeling, but I just really need my own time, even if it's just 10-15 minutes. So that's why right after coming back home, I decided to take a shower, and I did a face mask, and I feel like super nice. My skin feels super, super hydrated, and I don't know how to describe it. I just love it. Yeah, and now I am making my vlog, and I think I'm done for the day. I don't want to eat anything. And the best thing you can do in summer, like especially if it's super hot and stuffy, and you're generally not very hungry, is to kind of switch to smoothies, because they are rich in nutrients and they at least give you some sort of power, but without making you feel full, if you know what I mean. So that's why I just now made some berry smoothie, and I am so happy I did that. There's no added sugar in it. It's just the frozen berries with some milk and some cream on top. You can skip the cream if you don't want to. Also, I use dairy milk. So if you're not a fan of dairy, you can also just use any other non-dairy option available. And yeah, it wasn't very sweet, but it was perfect, and it was thick in consistency. So it's a bit like yogurt, and I'm pretty full from it. And I think in summer, that's the best thing I can do for myself in evenings, because I don't think I'm the type of person who would like to have a very heavy meal in the evening when it's so hot and it's already difficult to for your body to digest. So yeah, my go-to would be to make a smoothie. If you haven't done it yet, it's time for you to try it. But yeah, I'm very happy if you have watched me till now, or if you've subscribed to me, in the hope for in the hope of watching my future videos. And yeah, without any further ado, I definitely want to switch to the topic that I wanted to talk about in today's video. And as you can tell by the title, it has a lot to do with a very, very common situation that we probably go through in our everyday life. And that's when people talk behind our backs. And it's very close to home because I have had such experiences. And even in my recent past, something happened. But I think over the past years, I have grown as an individual and I've learned a lot. And I wanted to share with you my three main ways of coping with such situations and how you can deal with such people or situations whereby you do not take in all the stress and frustration and anger. So, yeah, I hope you stay till the end. And if you do, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I would love to hear your opinion on the vlog in general or even on the topic that I talk about next. And if you want to also keep up with my day-to-day life, you can also follow me on Instagram. The handle will be somewhere on the screen as usual, or also in the description box below. So the title, as you can see already, is about when people talk behind your back. And I know that there is not a single person watching this video right now who can say that they've never experienced this, because it happens at one point of our lives, of course. Like, there is just no way it's not happening. So it can happen as kids, as teenagers, when you're at school or at work or university. There's always this dynamic of like one person talking about you, which you find out later through somebody, or, you know, from some situation where you learn, okay, this person talked behind my back. But from my personal perspective and experience, a lot of times, of course, it makes no sense to try to understand why somebody does it. When somebody talks behind your back, um, you cannot ever fully understand why that person did it. Only that person probably knows why they did it, or maybe even they don't know. They know, like, subconsciously, maybe they know, but maybe consciously they just feel the thrill of gossiping about you, or going and telling somebody about you, or kind of like making out some story or making up some story, or maybe it's something they do to save themselves, like, you know, maybe instead of saying, oh, I accept I did something wrong, maybe they just say, no, I didn't do anything wrong, actually it was not me, it was somebody else. You know, there's always a lot of factors that could go behind why a person talks behind your back. For some people, it's just plain entertainment. They just are interested in your life. They're kind of obsessed about you. So they think about you, they look at your life, they observe you, whatever it is you do, small, big, whatever. They have to talk about it with their own friends, or with their own, like, people they trust, or with just people in general, or groups they are in. And you can't change that. So I think the first thing you should understand is, if a person is talking about you behind your back, you can't change it. And secondly, there is nothing you can do to try to understand the why behind what the person is doing, because that's just a very different individual, and you just can't, like, try to figure out what exactly is going in their minds, because they will never be honest about it. And I think you would just stress yourself out trying to figure out why this person did what they did. The only thing you can control and work on is how you respond or react to it. And I learned over the past many years and experience, um, the best thing to do is to not react. I know it sounds very weird to hear, because you're like probably thinking, what kind of a tip is that? Trust me, I feel the same. There are some times when all I want to do is to go and confront the person. But I always take some time for myself to just calm down. And in those moments, I kind of become very reclusive. I do not speak to people, especially not to that person who actually did me wrong. I take some time off for myself, because the thing is, if you're in contact with that person in that moment, at some point, you will say something, you will show some sort of emotion. And then it kind of triggers a conversation, maybe, or some comment from the other person. And then you will not be able to hold back your anger or whatever it is you want to say to them, or your frustration, and everything comes out. Being kind comes at a cost in this life. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And I've realized that, because I have myself had to go through certain hardships and emotionally trying situations. Secondly, our second tendency is to do the same thing, to gossip about them, to be like, you know, this and that person said this and that about me, and I'm feeling super hurt. So now you decide to go to your friends or trusted people and talk about them. But what you're doing is, you are doing exactly the same thing that they did to you. And it's just a toxic cycle that's starting between you and that person, because then that person hears about it, then they add to it, and then you will hear something about it. You want to add something about it. So you can already imagine how chaotic and messy it just gets. Um, It's not that easy to do, I know. I am tempted sometimes as well. Okay, I heard something, and I also know a lot of stuff about that person, whatever that person said to me or confided in me. So my first reaction is like, fine, then I'm also going to tell people what you told me, but it's just very, very destructive for your own self. My third point would be pretty much related to this second point. Um, don't defend yourself. For example, I had a situation where somebody lied about me. And honestly, I know it's a lie because how you say something, and if somebody reports what you says to someone else, you can be like, okay, what I said to this person, they said the same thing to the other person. It's bad, but it's still okay because they at least are not lying or not twisting your words. But in my situation, this person twisted my words and actually said something to somebody else, which I had never said, Um, I was very, very, very angry and sad because I kind of thought that this person was close or a friend to me. So, when somebody close to you does something like that, it affects you differently than somebody whom you don't know, or somebody with whom you're not too close. Let's just say it like that. Um, and I wanted to defend myself. I wanted to go to that person, like to whom they spoke about, and tell them, like, this is not what happened. This is blah blah blah. They said that, and my first reaction was to go and create like the right image, to negate what that person said about me. But I took my time to calm down, and honestly, I just laughed in my mind after that because of how stupid and immature the whole situation was. And I decided to laugh it off. You know what laughing it off means? It doesn't mean that you didn't take it seriously. It just means like you laugh it off because of how petty and immature the other person comes across. You are of a certain level, of a certain standard. And if you go down to that person's level and standard, then there will be no difference between you and them. And that's what I said to myself. I'm like, I would rather people like misunderstand me, misjudge me, or whatever, and form their own opinions about me, rather than me going and wasting my time and energy proving myself right to people who I couldn't care less what they thought of me. Honestly, if you're doing something good, whether you're in your workplace, in your school, or whatever, if you're doing something good, people will see it and they will recognize it. And it doesn't matter if they hear a lot of gossip about you or someone behind your back speaks shit about you, because the person knows how you are and they are a good judge themselves. They will be able to differentiate. However, you could try to be super nice. You could go and talk to people. You could try to prove what somebody said behind your back wrong. But if that person to whom they like shared information about you or spread rumors about you too already doesn't like you, already has a bad impression of you, then no matter what you say, it's not going to change their opinion of you. And I think growing up, I did that often. I would go and explain myself and defend myself and be like, this is not true. I heard that, it hurts me, blah blah blah. Honestly, it didn't bring me anywhere. It just kind of made me more, I don't know, sad, agitated, frustrated. And I decided, like in this particular situation, that I would be myself. Like I would not give a damn about what that person said or did. But I would take a mental check. Like I know who you are. I know what you said. I know what you did. I am not interested in knowing why you did it, because the fact that you did it itself just speaks volume about what kind of person you are. And for me, I'm just now at the level in my life where I just know that I want to preserve my peace and my energy. That doesn't mean to say that I always come home and I'm fine, with whatever happens in my day. No, there are days when I'm crying. There are days when I'm having a really hard time sleeping because I have all these thoughts and arguments and anger and frustration and sadness in the back of my head. But I'm just saying that it is important to, learn to remove yourself from such situations. And for me, it is very important that I stop having matters with such people, If it is a friend, I would just really start distancing myself from that friend. If it's a work relationship, I will just talk about work and basic minimum stuff which we need to get done and be done with it. And if it's a family member, then I think that's a bit more dicey to tackle. But even then, you kind of can learn to build boundaries with that person. And I think I made a video a couple months back about how to create boundaries for your own sanity and for maintaining healthy relationships. You can go through my uploads and watch that video, because I also share some very easy tips to build serious and strong boundaries against people, so that you are not hurt in the end. So yeah, I think these are the three main things that I have learned over the years. Of course, there are a multitude of other things you can do, you can try to do. But for me, these have worked, and I wanted to share these because I want to talk from my personal experience. And I also realized that you cannot change such people. So the only thing you can do is to remove yourself from those people and keep them like one, literally at arm's length, because I do not want such people in my space, my physical, emotional, mental space. I don't let them consume me or my thoughts. Of course, there are days when it's hard to do, but I try my best to not let them consume me. And I just realized that they are exactly the type of people I don't want to have matters with. They're just too shallow, or too like, they're definitely not at my level. And even if it sounds weird to hear when somebody says that, or when I'm saying it right now, that they're not to my level, it's not that I'm arrogant or something, but it's just that I know who I am. I know what I am bringing to somebody's life or work situation, or, you know, just a situation we are in. So I know my worth, and I would like to have people who are on the same level as me, or who understand me, or who appreciate me. So if somebody doesn't appreciate me, or shows me not once but twice or thrice that they are this type of person, they talk behind my back, or they love to gossip, you know, they would just listen to me saying something, take it to somebody else, they would listen to what the other person is saying, bring it to me, and it's like a back and forth. It just says a lot about that person's character, and I am not impressed by such people, honestly. And I love to stay away from such people. And I definitely recommend you guys to do the same. And I think it helps. It's not something that changes overnight, but it definitely helps with time. So I hope that you could take something from this little tips and tricks that I said. I mean, it's not really a tips and tricks, it's just more my own experience and realizations and stuff that I could think or imagine would help you in your life if you were to try it. But you can definitely let me know in the comment section below if you have any other ideas or ways that you deal with such situations whereby somebody is gossiping about you or talking behind your back. And how do you feel in those moments? What do you do to feel better? Or what do you do to deal with that situation? I would be very interested in knowing what you feel and what you think and what you do. And I hope you share it with me as well as other people who will watch this video and read the comments down below. And yeah, I hope you liked today's vlog. It was a bit long, but I am happy that I could actually come here and sit and talk to you guys, and be honest about how I feel. And I think this is what is important to me in my videos. I thank you very much for having stayed up until this point of the vlog. I hope to see you in my next vlog, and I wish you all a very nice week ahead. And yeah, take care. Bye bye.